Welcome to the series where I test out the OSRS Wiki money-making guides. I started this series almost a year ago, and since then we've tried out multiple methods even if they're a little silly, such as picking bananas or even flax. If you enjoy these types of videos, then feel free to check out the playlist that I've made for them, and feel free to leave a suggestion down in the comments for a method that you'd like to see tested. With that being said, let's get into the video. So I've been looking through the wiki to find a good moneymaker to do for a video, and I've come to realize that a lot of them aren't exactly correct. I mean, technically they are, but there's a few problems here. With this example, buying kegs of beer, it says we can buy 2,600 per hour. And as you can see here in the inputs, it says that we have 850,000 coins going out to buy these, which puts these kegs of beer at around 327 coins per keg. Now, the shop where you buy these at sells them for 325 for the first one. As soon as you buy one, the next one already becomes more expensive, much more than 327. So it would seem that this method right here is using the tactic of buying only one at a time and then letting it restock and then buying it again so that you can maximize your profits. But the problem with that is I don't know if you can actually get 2,600 per hour if you're just sitting around waiting. So that's what this video is going to do today. We're going to do 30 minutes of just buying them as fast as we can, and then we're going to do 30 minutes of just buying one at a time so that we can maximize our total profit. Or I guess be more efficient with our money, because overall it might not be more profitable. Sure, we're going to be spending less coins and making more money, but we're also going to be receiving a lot less kegs of beer if we're sitting around waiting for one at a time. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and let's just jump in and test it out. Now, as for the method, it is going to be very simple. As you can see, we have our max cape and our Fremnik Sea Boots 4, along with a cash stack in our inventory. So the method will go as follows. We'll use our boots to teleport. I'm wearing them just to save an inventory slot. And then once we teleport here, we'll run east into this area and we'll trade with Thora. She's the one who's going to be selling us the kegs of beer. And as you can see, each one is valued at 325, and earlier I was doing some testing and looking at different values depending on how many she has in stock. And I think the 475 option right here was whenever she had none in stock. So yeah, the price quickly ramps up. But thankfully, we'll still be making a profit either way, because I think when I sell them on the GE, they sold for around 520. But of course, that number is going to bounce around quite a bit. So hopefully it stays above 475. That way we can, guarantee ourselves a profit. But we also have to remember that there's also a GE tax, so that will also hurt us a little bit. But not as much, since I think the total value of all the kegs once we sell them is going to be like over $1 million. And some of the other money makers I was looking at that I really wanted to try are unfortunately not very profitable anymore just because of that tax. I was looking at some money makers that required you having like 200 mil to start with, such as buying magic seeds and then turning them into saplings. But that's another problem with the wiki. I don't think they take into account the GE tax. They'll show you that it's like 5 mil an hour, but then you add in the tax and it's a lot less than that. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. So as for the method, we are using our max cape to teleport to the crafting guild. That's where we are banking all of the kegs, and we are using our Fremnik Sea Boots 4 to teleport to the location where we are buying the kegs. Now, it is important to note that there is an NPC located nearby. His name is Pierre the Seer, and you can actually use him to bank your items. Unfortunately, I completely forgot about him until after I recorded the 1 hour, but yeah, our method still works. These teleports bring us really close to where we need to be, so it's still a fast method of transportation. Now, there are some other options that you have, according to the wiki. You can use the Enchanted Lyre. You can teleport to your house if you set it in Relica, or you can use a Moon Clan teleport or a Waterbird teleport with a boat ride. And of course, you can use my method and use your Fremnik Sea Boots 4, but of course you do need the Elite Fremnik Diary to use those. Also, something else that I completely forgot about, I should be wearing Graceful. We're doing quite a bit of running and my stamina does run out during this 1 hour. But luckily I do have the max cape, which also lets me teleport to my house. So whenever my stamina did get low, I could just hit the restoration pool and we were good to go. So, like I said in the beginning, for the first 30 minutes, we were just buying the kegs of beer as fast as we could and hopping worlds. We didn't wait around for the shop to restock because it does take quite a while. It's 6 seconds per keg of beer, and you're much better off just hopping worlds and buying another 20. And yes, I know there is a keg of beer on the table north of me that I can just grab free of charge, but I'm no thief. I'm gonna pay for my beer. Also, you probably don't want to grab that, even though we ourselves aren't drinking it. I wouldn't want to sell just a random keg that's sitting around at a bar. You never know what's in there. Someone could have done something bad to it, so yeah, we're just gonna avoid that. But with that being said, we are approaching the end of our first half hour of testing out this moneymaker, so let's go ahead and take a look at how many kegs of beer we managed to buy. So we just finished the first half of our video, the first 30 minutes of buying as many kegs of beer as we can, and as you can see, we did manage to get 1323, which if we were to multiply that by 2 for the full hour, that does get us close to the, actually it gets us further than the 2600 mark that the wiki said that we could get. So it's accurate in that sense, but the price, that's where the problem is. Like I said, the input showed that it was about 850,000 coins for the 2600, and we definitely spent more than that, I can tell you, because the math worked out to where each keg of beer was bought for around 327 GP, and that's not how it goes. We definitely spent a lot more because of the prices that escalate as there's less in the shop. So let's go ahead and see how much we made in total. So in total, we spent 524,416 GP on these kegs of beer. Let's go sell them off and see how much money we can make back. So yeah, they're still selling for 520, which is good. They sold for a total of 687,960 GP, which means that we made a total profit of 163,544 GP. And if you multiply that by 2 for the full hour, it is 327,088 GP. So not quite as much as the wiki was letting on. It's about half that. And yeah. And now that we're done calculating how much we made from that first half of the video, we can now do the second method, which is to buy 1 keg of beer at a time. So the method here is just to have the shop open and basically just wait until the number hits 20, and then we buy 1 keg of beer and repeat the process for the next 30 minutes. Now it's obvious that we're gonna get nowhere near the amount we got in the first half of the video, but I thought we'd go ahead and try this method out just because the wiki did state that, they were buying each keg of beer for only 327. I think the only advantage that this method has over the first one is that maybe if you don't have as much money, if you don't have a sizable cash stack, this might be a better option for you, but even then, I don't know if it's worth it. I think you're better off still just buying as many as you can, as fast as you can, selling them off, and then repeating the process. Now, you won't have to be waiting too long for them to restock. I believe the restock timer on this shop is 6 seconds. And something that I found out while recording this video is that 6-second timer seems to be going at all times, even when the shop is already fully stocked. Evidence of this can be shown whenever I went to go bank the kegs of beer. I would come back, I would buy a keg of beer, and in less than 6 seconds, it would restock. Sometimes it would restock as soon as I would buy a keg of beer. So it seems that the shop is always on that timer and it's always restocking even when it's full. Now, just like the last video, this was one of those methods that I had tested previously before, but it was never really a good moneymaker. It wasn't reliable simply because the kegs of beer wouldn't sell on the GE, or if they did, it would be for like a really small amount and it just wasn't worth doing this. But I tested it recently and it's actually turning a profit, so it might actually be worth doing now. And with that being said, we are approaching the end of the second half of the video, so let's go ahead and take a look at how many kegs of beer we managed to buy within these 30 minutes. Alright, so after finishing the second half of this video, we managed to buy 279 kegs of beer. As you can see, a lot less than the first half, but this is what we get for buying them at the cheapest price of $3.25. We spent a total of 90,675 GP on these kegs of beer. So let's go ahead and sell them off and see what the total profit is. We'll try to put them in there for the same price that we bought, or that we sold the other ones for, which was 520. Hopefully they sell, and if they don't, then we'll still calculate it as 520 just to keep things consistent. And they do sell. Nice. So from doing it this method where we get far less kegs of beer but we spend less money, we managed to make 54,000 coins. So if you want to multiply that by 2 for the full hour, that gives us 108,810 GP. So yeah, profit not as good as the other method. Like I said, the only plus side is that you are buying each one for less money, 325. So if you have less money, maybe that's a better way to do it. I'm not sure. I still think you're better off just buying as many as you can because the profit per hour is a lot higher. Now, if you're starting off with a smaller cash stack, that will probably mean that you're going to have to go to the GE more often to sell them off, but that's not really a big issue, especially with teleports. So yeah, I think the method of just buying all of them as fast as you can is probably the best. And yeah, the wiki, not 100% accurate. It's accurate about how many you can buy per hour, but not for the price that was advertised. You are going to be spending a lot more money than just 325, or 327 is what the average said, I think. The wiki was saying that you spend about 850,000 coins for the entire lot, and yeah, that's just not right. That would mean that you would spend 327 per each keg of beer, which was not the case. I worked out the average, how much we spent just buying them as fast as we could to reach that 2,600 kegs of beer output per hour. And the price was more like 396 per keg of beer. So quite a bit more, but yeah. I just want to say thanks for checking out the video, and thank you to all of my channel members, with a special thanks to ACR Beans. Once again, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.